Pause for a moment, just for a moment. Take a slow breath in and let it go. Now ask yourself one simple question. Are you living the life you once imagined for yourself? Most people avoid this question, not because it is complicated, but because the answer is uncomfortable. Every morning, millions of people wake up, rush through their day, return home tired, go to sleep, and repeat the same cycle again and again. Years pass, and one day, they wonder where their life went. This doesn't happen because people are lazy. It doesn't happen because they lack intelligence. It happens because they were never taught how to think deliberately. You see, there are two kinds of people in this world. The first kind lives by design. The second kind lives by default. Those who live by default accept whatever comes their way. They accept their circumstances, their environment, their limitations, without question, and slowly, without realizing it, they hand over control of their lives and start to chance. But those who live by design understand something very important. Life does not respond to wishes. Life responds to direction. Direction begins with thought. Everything you see around you today, every building, every invention, every system, started as a thought in someone's mind. Nothing appears first in the physical world. It appears first in the invisible world of thinking. And here's the truth most people never hear. You are living today inside the results of your past thoughts. Where you are right now is not an accident. It is the natural outcome of the dominant thoughts you have allowed to occupy your mind. This may sound unsettling, but it is also incredibly empowering, because if your life is shaped by your thoughts, then changing your thoughts can change your life. Most people never do this. They allow their minds to drift like a ship without a compass. They think whatever appears. They absorb opinions, fears, and doubts from the world around them, and then they wonder why their lives feel out of control. Understand this clearly. The mind does not distinguish between useful thoughts and harmful ones. It simply acts on what it is fed. Feed it fear, and it will build limitation. Feed it confusion, and it will create hesitation. Feed it purpose, and it will move you forward. This is why so many people stay busy, yet never move ahead. They work hard, but without direction. They move fast, but in circles. Activity without purpose is one of the greatest traps of modern life. You don't need more time. You don't need more resources. You don't need luck. What you need is clarity. Clarity is knowing what you want and why you want it. Most people never clearly define their goal. They say things like, I just want to be happy, or I want a better life. But the mind cannot work with vague instructions. A ship given no destination will never reach a harbor. The moment you clearly decide what you want to become, something remarkable happens. Your mind begins to organize itself. Your attention sharpens. Your actions gain meaning. Opportunities you once ignored suddenly become visible. This is not magic. This is focus. And focus is one of the most powerful forces a human being can develop. But here is where many people stop. They decide what they want, yet they don't stay with a thought. They think about it occasionally, then return to old habits of thinking, and life continues as before. Consistency of thought is what separates dreamers from achievers. A thought held briefly has little power. A thought held consistently reshapes character, and character shapes destiny. Every great achievement in history was preceded by a long period of quiet, disciplined thinking, not wishing, not hoping, but deliberate, focused thought combined with steady action. The world will not hand you your purpose. No one will knock on your door and tell you who you are meant to become. That responsibility belongs to you, and once you accept it, you step out of the crowd. You move from being a spectator to being a participant. This is the moment when life stops happening to you and starts happening because of you. Most people never reach this point, not because they cannot, but because they never pause long enough to question the direction they are moving in. So I'll leave you with this thought. If your life continued exactly as it is now, where would you be in 5 years? That answer is not a prediction. It is warning, because the future is not created by chance. It is created by the thoughts you choose to hold today. I want you to pause for a moment and truly listen to me, because what I am about to say is not noise. It is not motivation for a few minutes, and it is not excitement that fades by tomorrow. I am speaking to you about the very foundation of your life, and whether you realize it or not, your life at this very moment is the exact reflection of how you've been thinking for years. Most people do not like hearing this because it removes excuses, but it also hands you something far more valuable: control. You see, I have watched people all my life. I have watched them wake up every morning, rush into the day, complain about time, money, stress, and circumstances, and then repeat the same pattern again and again until years have passed, and suddenly they are asking themselves, how did I get here? And the truth is always the same. They never chose a direction. They simply drifted. And drifting is the most dangerous habit a human being can develop, because when you drift, You still move, you still stay busy, but you never arrive anywhere meaningful. I am telling you this because life does not respond to effort alone. Life responds to direction. Effort without direction only leads to exhaustion, and that is why so many people are tired but not fulfilled, busy but not successful, working hard but going nowhere. And if you are honest with yourself, you may recognize this feeling inside you, a quiet frustration that something is missing, that you were meant for more than just surviving days, paying bills, and waiting for weekends. That feeling is not weakness, it is awareness, and awareness is always the first step toward change. Now let me tell you something most people never learn. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever own, and yet almost no one is taught how to use it. The mind does not question what you feed it. It accepts it and builds your life around it. If you constantly think about limitation, you will live in limitation. If you constantly think about fear, you will behave fearfully. And if you constantly think without purpose, your life will lack purpose. This is not philosophy. This is law, just like gravity. And here is the part that changes everything. You are not punished for your circumstances. You are shaped by your thoughts. And the beautiful part is this: the moment you change the way you think, you change the direction your life moves in. Most people wait for motivation to act, but I am telling you, motivation follows clarity, not the other way around. When you clearly decide what you want to become, your mind begins to work for you instead of against you. Opportunities begin to appear, not because the world changed, but because your awareness changed before that. Those same opportunities were invisible to you. You see, the mind is like a guided missile. It must be given a target. If you do not give it one, it will lock on to whatever is closest: fear, doubt, distraction, or other people's opinions. Then people wonder why they feel lost. I have learned that success is not a mystery. It is not luck, and it is not reserved for a special group of people. Success is the natural result of a clearly defined goal combined with consistent thought and action toward that goal. But consistency is where most people fail. They think about their dreams occasionally and then return to old thinking patterns. They let the world interrupt them, distract them, and pull them back into comfort. And comfort is the enemy of growth. Nothing grows in comfort. Growth requires intention, discipline, and patience. The kind of patience that keeps going even when nothing seems to be happening. Because all meaningful growth happens quietly at first, beneath the surface, just like a seed in the ground. You do not dig it up every day to check progress. You trust the process and keep watering it with the right thoughts and actions. And this is what I want you to understand deeply. Your future is not created tomorrow. It is created now by what you choose to think about most of the time. If you think about goals, you move toward goals. If you think about problems, you move toward more problems. The mind always moves in the direction of its dominant thoughts. And once you truly grasp this, you will never think casually again. You will guard your mind because you will finally understand that it is the doorway to your destiny. And I will leave you with this: if your life continues exactly as it is right now, with the same thoughts, habits, and direction, where will you be in 5 years? Because that future is already forming. And the good news is this: you can change it starting now. I want to take this deeper now because understanding alone is not enough awareness. Without discipline, changes nothing. And this is where most people quietly return to their old lives. They feel inspired. For a moment, they feel something awaken inside them, and then the noise of the world pulls them back into familiar patterns. And I am telling you this, not to discourage you, but to prepare you, because the path of growth is simple, but it is not easy. It requires that you take responsibility for your inner world. Before you demand results from the outer world, you must understand that your habits are nothing more than thoughts repeated so often they became automatic. And if you want a different life, you must be willing to interrupt those automatic patterns every single day, even when you do not feel like it, because feelings follow action, not the other way around. Most people wait to feel confident before they act, but confidence is built by acting in the absence of confidence. Discipline is doing what you decided to do long after the mood has passed, and this is where personal power is born. Not in excitement, but in consistency. I have seen people with extraordinary talent fail, and people with ordinary ability succeed, because talent without discipline collapses under pressure, while discipline creates strength over time. Strength once developed becomes reliable. You can count on it, even on days when everything feels heavy. You see, the mind is like a field. Whatever you plant in it daily will eventually grow, and it does not matter whether you believe it will grow or not. It grows anyway. If you plant doubt, you harvest hesitation. If you plant purpose, you harvest progress. And the mistake most people make is that they plant once and expect a lifetime. Harvest growth demands daily investment. Even small focused effort effort done every day compounds into something powerful over time. But most people underestimate the power of small actions because they are impatient. They want instant transformation, instant success, instant proof, and when they do not see it, they quit without realizing they were closer than they thought. Patience is not passive waiting. Patience is active trust combined with steady effort, and trust is built by keeping promises to yourself. When you say you will think differently, act differently, and show up differently, and then you actually do it, you build self-respect, and self-respect becomes confidence, and confidence changes how you move through the world. People begin to respond to you differently, not because you demanded it, but because your inner state shifted, and the world always reflects the inner state back to you. Now let me say something that may challenge you. Your environment is stronger than your intentions. If you surround yourself with negativity, distraction, and aimless conversation, it will eventually overpower even strong goals. This is why guarding your input is as important as defining your output. What you listen to, what you read, what you allow into your mind on a daily basis shapes your thinking quietly and relentlessly. And if you are serious about changing your life, you must become selective, not arrogant, but intentional. You do not need to argue with everyone. You do not need approval. You need alignment. Alignment between what you think, what you say, and what you do. And once those three are aligned, momentum begins to build. And momentum, once created, becomes easier to maintain than to stop. This is why the first steps are always the hardest. You are pushing against inertia, years of conditioned thinking, but once you move far enough, the resistance decreases and movement becomes natural. And this is the point where people say it feels effortless, not because it is easy, but because they finally stopped fighting themselves. And here's a truth few people accept. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is responsible for your fulfillment except you. And that is not a burden, it is freedom. Because the moment you accept that responsibility, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for permission, you stop blaming circumstances, and you start shaping your future deliberately. One decision at a time, one thought at a time, one action at a time. And I want you to remember, this progress is not loud. Growth is quiet. Transformation happens when no one is watching. And the life you want is built in private, long before it is visible in public. Stay with the process. Stay loyal to your vision, even when results are slow, because time will pass anyway. And the question is not whether time will move, but whether you will move with intention as it does. I want you to understand this clearly, because this is where real change separates from temporary motivation. Every meaningful transformation begins the moment you stop lying to yourself. Not the loud lies you tell others, but the quiet ones you whisper inside. The ones that say, I will start tomorrow, or this is just how life is, or I am different from those people who succeed. Those thoughts feel harmless, but they slowly steal your future. I am telling you from experience that the mind believes what you repeat. It does not argue, it obeys. And once you truly grasp that, you will become careful with your inner dialogue. You will stop speaking weakness into existence. You will stop rehearsing failure in your head, because whether you realize it or not, you are always practicing something. You are either practicing courage or practicing fear. You are either practicing focus or practicing distraction. Most people practice fear daily and then wonder why confidence feels foreign to them. Confidence is not a gift, it is a skill, and skills are built through repetition. Small daily choices repeated over time create a powerful identity. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits, and habits are nothing more than thoughts that became routine. This means your life can change faster than you think if you are willing to change what you repeatedly do and think. But let me be honest with you, this path requires solitude at times. Growth often feels lonely, because when you change your thinking, you no longer fit comfortably into old conversations. You stop complaining, and people think you are distant. You stop explaining, and people think you are arrogant, but you are not changing to impress anyone. You are changing to align with who you know you must become. And alignment always costs comfort. The crowd will always choose the familiar over the meaningful. That is why the crowd stays the crowd. If you want uncommon results, you must be willing to live uncommonly, at least for a while. This does not mean isolating yourself from the world. It means no longer letting the world dictate your inner state. You decide what deserves your attention. You decide what thoughts are allowed to stay. You decide what direction your life moves in. And once you do this consistently, something remarkable happens. Life begins to cooperate, not because it became easier, but because you became clearer. Resistance loses its power when purpose is strong. Problems do not disappear, but they stop controlling you. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, how is this shaping me? That shift alone changes everything, because growth is not about avoiding difficulty. It is about becoming the kind of person who can move through difficulty without breaking. And that strength is built built quietly through daily discipline, through choosing progress over comfort, through choosing truth over excuses, through choosing long-term vision over short-term relief. Remember this always. The world rewards clarity. It rewards consistency. It rewards those who know where they are going, even if they are moving slowly. Drift is the enemy. Intention is the cure. And the moment you wake up each day with a clear sense of direction, you reclaim control over your life, not all at once, steadily, reliably, powerfully. I want you to stay with me now, because what I am about to say may be the most important part of this entire message. There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize that information alone will not save them. You can read every book, listen to every talk, and understand every principle, yet still remain exactly where you are if you do not decide to act. Decision is the bridge between knowledge and transformation. Until you decide, nothing changes. The mind loves comfort, and it will always present logical reasons to stay the same. It will say, wait until conditions improve. Wait until you feel ready. Wait until someone supports you. But readiness is a myth. You do not become ready and then act. You act, and readiness follows. Every step forward creates the confidence to take the next one. This is how momentum is born. Momentum is not created by thinking. It is created by movement. Even imperfect action is more powerful than perfect intention. You must be willing to begin before you feel prepared, because growth does not ask for permission. It responds to courage. And courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is movement in spite of fear. Fear will always be present when you are moving towards something meaningful. If there is no fear, you are likely not stretching beyond what you already know. And that is not growth. Growth lives on the edge of uncertainty. This is why so many people retreat at the first sign of discomfort. They misinterpret resistance as a sign to stop, when in truth, resistance is often a sign that you are moving in the right direction. The path that leads nowhere is usually smooth. The path that leads somewhere demands something from you. It asks you to let go of old identities, old stories, and old limitations. It asks you to release the version of yourself that feels safe but unfulfilled, and letting go is always uncomfortable. But holding on to a life that does not fit you anymore is far more painful in the long run. You must decide who you are becoming before the world agrees with you. Validation always comes after commitment, never before. Do not wait for applause. Do not wait for permission. The most important work you will ever do will happen quietly when no one is watching. And that is where character is built. Character is what carries you when motivation fades. Motivation is temporary. Character is permanent. Build character through daily choices, through honesty with yourself, through discipline when it would be easier to quit. And understand this, your future self is watching you right now. The person you will become in 5 or 10 years is being shaped by the decisions you make today. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you delay that future. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you move closer to it. Time will pass regardless. The only question is whether you will use it intentionally. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are simply at a moment of choice. And this moment matters more than you think, because once you choose to live with direction, the world may not change overnight, but you will. And that change will eventually change everything around you. I want you to take this into your quiet moments, because transformation does not happen in noise. It happens when you are alone with your thoughts and willing to be honest with yourself. Most people avoid silence because silence reveals what distraction hides. In silence, you hear the truth about where you are and where you are not going, and truth demands response. Once you see clearly, you can no longer pretend you did not know. Awareness creates responsibility, and responsibility is where personal power begins. You stop blaming circumstances and start shaping outcomes. You stop waiting for external change and begin internal alignment. This is the turning point, the place where excuses lose their grip and intention takes over. Understand that your life will always move in the direction of your strongest commitment, not your strongest wish, not your loudest promise, but your strongest commitment. Commitment is proven by what you do when no one is watching and when it would be easier to stop. This is why consistency is more important than intensity. Intensity burns bright and fades quickly. Consistency builds slowly and lasts. A small disciplined action done every day will outperform a massive effort done once. This is the law of compounding applied to human behavior, and it works whether you believe in it or not. If you compound distraction, you get chaos. If you compound focus, you get progress. Day by day, choice by choice. Nothing dramatic, nothing glamorous, just steady forward movement. And this is where patience becomes essential. Not passive patience, but active patience. The kind that keeps showing up without visible results. purpose, the kind that trusts the process because you understand the principles behind it. Nature never rushes, yet everything is accomplished. Growth follows the same rule. You cannot force a seed to grow faster by pulling on it. You nurture it and allow time to do its work. In the same way, you must nurture your goals with daily attention and allow time to shape the outcome. Most people quit too early because they expect immediate proof, but proof always comes after belief, not before. You must believe enough to continue without evidence. That is faith in action, not blind hope, but informed trust in cause and effect. You do the work and results follow, always. And let me say this clearly, you do not need to become someone else to succeed. You need to become more fully yourself, stripped of fear, doubt, and borrowed limitations. Your potential is already within you, waiting for direction. Direction comes from decision. Decision comes from clarity. And clarity comes from taking the time to think. Thinking is the most profitable activity you will ever engage in, yet it is the one most people avoid. They stay busy to avoid thinking, but busy does not mean productive. Stillness creates vision. Vision creates purpose. Purpose creates energy, and energy directed consistently creates results. This is the sequence. Do not reverse it. And finally, remember this. The life you admire in others is built on unseen discipline. The strength you respect is formed through private struggle. No one arrives fully formed. Everyone is in process. The difference is some people stay in the process while others step out. Stay in it, stay committed, stay aligned, because the version of you that you are becoming is worth the effort. Now, I want you to hear this deeply because most people miss this point entirely. Success is not something that arrives magically at your door. It does not visit the unprepared. It rewards those who are willing to think, plan, and act deliberately over time. You must learn to control your attention because wherever your attention goes, energy flows. If you allow your mind to wander toward worry, distraction, or meaningless consumption, that is exactly what your life will reflect. But if you consciously focus on what matters, on the small daily actions that align with your goals, your life will begin to shift almost imperceptibly at first, and then with unstoppable momentum. It is not sudden, it is not dramatic, but it is inevitable. The reason so many people feel stuck is because they measure progress by excitement instead of by results. They want to feel different before they act, but the truth is, feeling follows action, not the other way around. You must act first, and the proper feelings will follow. You must show up every day, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it seems pointless, even when no one notices. That is how excellence is built. That is how self-respect is earned. That is how confidence becomes natural. You see, confidence is not built in moments of comfort. It is forged in adversity, in discipline, in doing what must be done, even when the heart wants to quit. And when you commit to this, when you really commit, you begin to notice subtle changes. The way you think about challenges, the way you react to setbacks, the way you choose your company, the way you use your time. It all begins to reflect someone who is no longer drifting, but steering. And once steering begins, opportunities appear. Not because life is easier, but because your awareness has increased. You notice possibilities others miss. You act on them. You create results. And this is the secret most people never tell you. Extraordinary results are never the product of talent alone. They are the product of focus, discipline, and consistency over time. Talent may open doors temporarily, but only disciplined action builds a life worth living. So I want you to take this seriously. Decide today that you will guard your mind, feed it thoughts that empower you. Act on those thoughts every day and refuse to be distracted by excuses, opinions, or fear. Begin now, not tomorrow. Not when conditions are perfect. Now. Each small choice compounds. Each decision sets the stage for the next. And the person you are becoming right now will determine the life you will have in 5, 10, 20 years. Choose wisely, act consistently, and trust the process. I want you to understand one final truth that most people never grasp. Life is not complicated. It is simple, but relentless. You do not need secret formulas. You do not need rare opportunities. You need one thing above all: clarity of purpose and disciplined action toward it every single day. Everything else is secondary. The moment you commit fully to thinking, acting, and living intentionally, the world begins to cooperate. Challenges will still come, problems will still appear, but they no longer control you. You respond rather than react. You learn rather than complain. You grow rather than retreat. And that growth compounds. One thoughtful choice followed by another shapes character, and character shapes destiny. You cannot escape the laws of cause and effect. The life you live tomorrow is being built by what you are doing today. If you want abundance, focus on creating value. If you want respect, be honest, even when it is difficult. If you want freedom, master your thoughts and refuse to let fear dictate your decisions. These are the foundations. They are timeless. They are unchanging. And once you internalize them, everything else becomes a matter of applying what you already know consistently. The path is not glamorous. It is quiet. It is sometimes lonely. It requires patience, persistence, and unwavering attention to the small things that matter. But here is the remarkable truth. Those who walk this path find life richer, deeper, and more fulfilling than they ever imagined. Every step forward becomes easier as momentum builds. Every disciplined choice strengthens confidence. Every small victory reminds you that you are capable of more than you ever thought. And one day, when you look back, you will see that the life you dreamed of was never given to you by luck. It was created by the steady, deliberate actions you took when no one was watching, by the thoughts you chose to hold, and by the courage you exercised in moments when it was easier to quit. That life, your life, is waiting for you. It is not a distant dream. It is being built right now in the choices you make, the thoughts you nurture, and the actions you take. Decide today to take control. Decide today to live intentionally. Decide today to stop drifting. The power has always been in your hands. Use it. Now listen carefully, because this is where most people stumble without realizing it. Knowing what to do is only the beginning. The real work is doing it consistently when no one is watching, when the world offers no reward, when your emotions scream for comfort and distraction. That is the true test of character. Every time you choose the harder path, the path of discipline, of focus, of deliberate action, you are shaping a version of yourself that the world cannot ignore. Success is not handed out to the lucky. It is earned by those who refuse to quit when circumstances are difficult, by those who take full responsibility for their thoughts, their choices, and their actions. Do not wait for motivation to appear. Do not wait for inspiration to strike. Act now, and you will find motivation following you. Confidence follows action, clarity follows action, and momentum follows action. Every time you act with intention, the universe responds, not magically, but because you have aligned yourself with cause and effect. The smallest step taken consistently is more powerful than 1,000 steps taken sporadically. Your mind, your habits, your discipline, they are all compounding, even when you cannot see the results. Trust the process. Trust your commitment. Understand that discomfort is the currency of growth. No one grows in comfort. No one builds greatness by staying within what feels safe. Greatness is forged when you push past resistance, when you do what must be done, even if you do not feel like it. Every time you override excuses, you strengthen your inner authority. Every time you honor your commitments to yourself, you raise your self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of all achievement. Your life is the sum of these choices. You are creating it right now, silently, in the thoughts you entertain, the actions you take, and the habits you reinforce. The future is not waiting for you. It is forming at this very moment. The question is simple. Will you be deliberate about it, or will you allow it to form by default? Those who succeed are those who choose direction, who think deeply, who act consistently, and who refuse to settle for less than they are capable of becoming. You are capable of more than you realize. You have always been capable. What is required is clarity, courage, and relentless consistency. Decide today to own your life. Decide today to guard your mind. Decide today to act even imperfectly, and trust that action compounded over time will create a life that is extraordinary. The power has always been yours. It always will be. Use it. Now I want you to really take this in, because this is where understanding turns into transformation. Life is not a spectator sport. You cannot watch it passively and expect results. Every day, you are either moving closer to your goals or drifting farther from them. There is no neutral ground, and the distance you travel is determined entirely by your choices, your thoughts, your habits, your daily actions. They are the vehicle, and your attention is the driver. If you allow distraction, fear, or indecision to steer, you will end up somewhere you never intended. But if you take control, if you think with clarity, decide with courage, and act with consistency, the journey becomes deliberate and powerful. There will be challenges. There will be setbacks. There will be days when progress feels invisible. That is normal. That is expected. That is where character is forged. Those who persist when progress is hidden are the ones who eventually enjoy results that seem extraordinary to the outside world. You cannot skip the process. You cannot short-circuit growth. You can only show up again and again and trust that each small, purposeful action is shaping a future you cannot yet see. And here is the paradox. As you focus on the process rather than the result, your results begin to multiply effortlessly. The anxiety, the doubt, the fear, they all begin to fade because you know you are doing what is required. You are living with integrity toward your own vision. You are honoring your potential with every decision, every thought, every action. This is the essence of personal power. It is quiet. It is invisible at first. It is often lonely, but it is unstoppable. When you learn to master this, when you choose deliberately, act consistently, and guard your mind against distraction, you begin to operate on a level far beyond ordinary people. You no longer wait for permission. You no longer depend on external validation. You move forward because your internal compass is aligned with your purpose, and the life you dream of, the life you have always imagined, begins to emerge naturally from this disciplined, intentional approach. It does not happen overnight. It does not happen magically, but it happens. And when you look back years from now, you will see that every choice, every small effort, every moment you refused to quit built the extraordinary life you now enjoy. That is the power of deliberate thought, intentional action, and unwavering consistency. Your future is in your hands. The time to act is now.